For a while, I've been thinking, what is the most important decisional factor when purchasing a large Bluetooth speaker? What would set apart the one that you purchased from the ones that you didn't purchase? After long moments of pondering, I've come to the conclusion that it's the maximum volume it can achieve. Because typically we purchase a Bluetooth speaker to sound as loud as possible, to fill a room with music, and just to be a party speaker. So today I decided to review the biggest, baddest Bluetooth speaker that I've seen. This is the Tronsmart Bang Max. Right here you see 6 kilograms of speakers. So this feels more like a heavy duty Bluetooth speaker than the ones that you typically carry in your pocket, but I've been known to use some of those outdoors, for example the VIFA Copenhagen, and I also did review the AIVA Exos 9, which right now I can find online for about $1,000 US, although it was $300 US at the moment I reviewed it, and I don't think that its value climbed since I reviewed it. So what is the Tronsmart Bang Max? This is a speaker with LED rings, so it's RGB enabled. It actually looks pretty cool in person. It should be used like this. So it's one of those BoomBox kind of thing that you would carry on your shoulder, but at 6 kilograms it's quite heavy, so you would fatigue quite fast from carrying it on your shoulder. This is a Bluetooth speaker, so we have Bluetooth input, which is SBC or AAC. There is no LDAC or aptX HD or even aptX, just AAC or SBC. It has two other auxiliary inputs. It can power 2 microphones and one of them can be used as a guitar amplifier. So I would think that the company designed the Bang Max to be used like one of those speakers that someone uses with a guitar to play in a park to showcase their talents before starting an official album or to get some extra money to fund an album and such. And also it is a very good karaoke speaker because you can set the gain on the microphone input and they are separate. So you can have 2 different microphones with 2 different gain levels and you can set them against the music, which is also very cool. And you have auxiliary input, you have the option to play files from a micro SD card, you have the option to play files from an USB stick, also from Bluetooth. It can play one of the digital inputs, so Bluetooth, USB or micro SD, at the same time as the auxiliary inputs, so it can do karaoke in real time. That is important because I see it as a good karaoke speaker. When it comes to the design, it's pretty much a tube. It has 6 speaker drivers on the front, so 2 bass drivers, 2 midwoofer drivers, and 2 tweeters. And at the sides it has passive radiators that should enhance the sub bass. So those LED rings are not just for show, they actually act as passive speakers. As you can see, if I hit them, you hear some kind of bass response. The side passive radiators reverberate between 40 and 60 Hz, which should give it a bit more extra oomph and extra sub-bass extension than speakers that don't have those large radiators. They also have very thick, heavy-duty suspensions, so the response of those passive drivers is quite sloppy, but at the same time it's tight. They produce actual bass, and the speaker itself is pretty nice. You need to charge it for about 5 hours, which is the longest time I've had to charge something, but it can play for up to 24 hours if you are using it at half its maximum volume and with the LED lights off. I have experienced between 6 and 9 hours of actual playback at almost maximum volume, which is excellent. I couldn't have asked for more. Connecting the Bang Max via Bluetooth is quite simple. You just grab your phone, you go to Bluetooth and you connect it. And I want to see if I can play something for you to give you some kind of idea of how loud it can go and how does it sound like. I don't think that my microphone, which is stated here, would provide you with a good reference for its sound, but it should give you something to work with. Okay, so I found a song. Let's see how does it sound like. From the people who unless you check as I'm chess, what's happening next? He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just hold an obsession. I'll leave this possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. Oh! Could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody insane from the The company promises up to 110 decibels of maximum volume, which I think is fair. It can actually give you 110 decibels. This is enough to fill a party of 20 people. You can use this speaker only and be done with it. But it can be paired with another Tronsmart BoomBox to act as stereo speakers, which is also insane. You can have two of those and they would pretty much be public address speakers, and they do a good job at that. The BoomBox is, I think, the best option you can grab if you are in the 200 to 300 US dollars price range and you don't know quite what to get. It's not perfect. The sound quality is great though. It's not bad. You get multiple equalizer option, including a custom equalizer that you can configure so you can actually equalize it a bit, but the drivers don't have that much headroom. The sound is basically pretty bassy, warm and strong with a dynamic and punchy presentation, and it has a very good bass depth. I think that for a Bluetooth speaker it is the bass depth that I've heard, even bassier than Aiva Exos 9. The Exos 9 has a good sound, but it's very sloppy. The bass is very slow and it doesn't have a lot of texture or detail. The Aiva Exos 9 is very lean for what I would consider ideal. Especially for 300 US dollars, it provides a not detailed sound. It's very bland. While the Tronsmart BoomBox is actually quite detailed, it can produce guitar sounds, it can produce synths. It sounds very natural to my ears. Keeping that in mind, there are pricier options out there which will sound better, but most of them are outlet bound, so you have to power them at all times. While with the BoomBox you can carry this around and it can even power your smartphone, acting as a power bank, so you can charge your smartphone from it, which is a good extra, especially at a party. Someone might want to charge up their smartphone and you can tell them, yeah, connect it to the speaker, which I think would be peculiar, or I don't think that would happen that often, but if it happens once, you saved someone's day. The BoomBox is a very natural sounding speaker for the most part, so it sounds most like a high-end radio. It doesn't sound as detailed as a high-end stereo system, but comparing it to 300 US dollars speakers, or about what you can grab for 300 US dollars, so something like the Audiophile S1000dB, the BoomBox sounds about as detailed. It's mono, of course. Since I have just one, I am hearing it in mono, but you can pair two so you can get stereo sound. It has a deeper bass actually, because it has those large passive radiators on the sides, which help a lot with creating bass and with creating depth to music. It can rumble an entire room, you can dance to the sound of the BoomBox, and you don't have to be worried that it will burn down because most of the bass is handled by the passive radiators, while the active drivers aren't at risk of burning out. Is it perfect? Well, no, it is not perfect. But I think it's great. I think that if you are going to have a party and you need a large speaker to fill that party, or even if you are going outdoors fishing or for a barbecue, or if you just want to have a party or a dance outdoors, the BoomBox is ideal. It's easy to transport at 6 kilograms. It's not quite Aiva Exos 9, which is heavier and larger and much less ergonomic. But with the BoomBox is a tube with a handle. You even have a handle to carry it. Now, I could do the entire video like this and I wouldn't get tired. It's quite light actually, and it balances nicely, you see. It's pretty resistant. It even has an IPX rating, and I think that's good because, well, most speakers won't see water and you aren't supposed to splash them with water. A party speaker, you are likely to splash it with some juice or to take it at the beach to give you some music to dance on the beach. It is very versatile for someone who is outgoing, for someone who is a bit more of an extrovert, and for someone who wants to share his music with the world. Since the price range is about 200 US dollars, I do have a Bluetooth speaker that I am using on a daily basis, which is 100 US dollars. This is the Clear Scene. And the Clear Scene has seen the light of day a lot in my house because it's practical, it's much smaller, and it sounds fairly good. The Clear Scene also has those passive radiators on the side, but they are much smaller, so I can compare them directly to know what you can grab for 100 US dollars or for 200 US dollars. The Clear Scene is more stealthy. The battery life is about the same, a bit longer on the Clear Scene because you don't bring it loud that often, but the bass on the Clear Scene rolls off much earlier. So with the Clear Scene you don't get bass downwards of 60 to 70 Hz, there is no bass below that, which is disappointing sometimes, while with the BoomBox, bass can go as low as 40 Hz, which is really pleasing. You can not just hear but also feel the sub bass. With the BoomBox you get slightly less detail in the upper mid-range and treble, but slightly better detail in the lower mid-range and the bass. You get a more natural voicing. Voices come through as more natural. Instruments are more present and it fills the room much better. Clear synth tends to draw a bit more detail from music and it tends to be a bit more detailed, especially in the upper registers, but that makes it bright and shouty at times, which means that I have to turn down the volume, which just puts it in the background. And I don't really want that all the time. I prefer something like the BoomBox to give more color to my home and to my house. Of course, not the LED rings. I think that those don't look that great, but this is something you can turn off or can turn on. If you are at a party and you have no light effects, having two large LED rings is pretty cool. Tronsmart BoomBox is a absolutely fully recommended Bluetooth speaker. It's large, it's heavy, but it is a heavy duty element. It can push some volume with it and is the loudest sounding speaker that stays clear up to the maximum volume that I have. So AIVA Exos 9 tends to distort quite easily. At about 70% it's already distorted. Viva Copenhagen doesn't distort at maximum volume, but it starts to sound very compressed, which destroys the sound quality a bit. With the Tronsmart BoomBox, you don't get any of those issues. It can be brought very loud, and in my personal experience, I can't bring it to the maximum volume without the neighbors calling the police, so it goes that loud. I think that if you are going to hold the party outdoors, it will be able to give you enough sound and enough CPL or sound volume to hold that party. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that I brought a party to your ears and soul. I hope that you will be subscribing to Audiophile Heaven. Consider watching more videos if you are curious about other products. Thank you so much, and I hope we'll see each other really soon. Bye bye.